there was a story today. I think it was Haynes back there about you wanting to own a team someday. What's that all about?
Just having dreams and goals. I don't know if I wanted Chris to write that because you know when you got dreams and goals, a lot of mediocre people want to try to knock you out your space. So.
What's up, guys? It's Dylan from BasketballBrain. How's it going? So I heard this quote today from KD. He was giving an interview. They asked him about possibly owning a team when he retires. I don't really care about that. I hope he does get a team. That'd be great. But what I wanted to focus in on, of course, I'm always looking at the beliefs and psychology of successful people. And he said, you know, when you put your goals and dreams out there, there's a lot of mediocre people who have nothing better to do than to try to tear you down. I got an email the other day from one of BasketballBrain users, and he was telling me that, you know, some people are starting to doubt him because he spends all his time in the gym, he's working really hard, and he's not been successful yet. He hasn't made the team, and he feels down and he feels out, and people are telling him he's wasting his time. And that definitely hurts. That's something you don't want to hear, you don't want to feel. Nobody wants to feel that. When I was starting my companies, for instance, I spent a lot of time, you know, building them, and I had people tell me I was crazy, living in a fantasy world, that I was a loser, etc., because I was spending all of this time, hours and hours, sleeping in my office. I had no home, and people were saying, hey man, you need to give it up, you're not good enough, you're not going to make it, etc. But that actually drove me. That I took that and I turned it into fuel to work even harder. Now the truth is, you want most of your motivation to come from within you, so who cares what people think? But I've always said, like, 1%, 5% of your motivation, if it's coming from outside, that's like a little extra boost. It's like when you watch Fast and Furious, you know how they hit the little nitrous oxide thing and they zoom off, they get a little extra boost. That's what doubters and haters do. The other point I want to make, and it's so important, is your game, even if you don't achieve your highest basketball dreams, you're still learning how to become a successful person, because the habits, the attitude, the mental training, how to talk to yourself, how to work through tough times, these skills will translate into your life in anything you go to do. Whether you want to be a coach someday, whether you go into business, whether you go into academia, whatever job you do, again, you might be an entrepreneur, the same skill set, waking up early, staying late, devoting yourself to it, learning how to think properly, learning how to visualize. All of the skills you're learning right now are going to help you. And even if you're the best basketball player, if you're the #1 player in the country, guess what? By about the age of 35, basketball's gone for the most part as far as playing. I mean, some guys will play to 40, but you know, you don't have that much time to play basketball. What you're learning, what you're gaining is this skill set. So even if you have haters now, they have no idea who you are. They have no idea what you're becoming, because you're learning how winners act and behave through the game of basketball. And if you keep working hard with basketball, you're going to achieve most of your goals, if not all of them. Just stick to it. Just keep going. Put your head down. Part of success is to keep participating in your workouts with all the energy and vigor and enthusiasm you can, even when you're not getting the results you want right away. Winners, rare people, are patient. They stick with it. They know the results will come. And you can do two things with people who doubt you, those mediocre people Kevin Durant's talking about. You can ignore them, and you got to do that most of the time. But it's always good to have in the back of your head who doubted you. You know, my screensaver for a while on my computer was a list, okay, of everybody who had ever doubted me. There's a list of people who had said something about my businesses, about my life, and thought I wasn't going to make it. So every time I turned on my computer, there was that list. Now, most of my motivation comes from within. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to write. I always wanted to do the things I wanted to do. So that was the core of my motivation. And I know the core of your motivation is when you first started playing basketball, you just loved the game. You couldn't stop playing it. You couldn't stop watching it. That's the real motivation. But if you get a little bit of hate, turn that hate into fuel. This is BasketballBrain.com, the full program. It's a scientifically based, psychologically based mental training program. It's not just motivation. Check it out at BasketballBrain.com. We are dedicated to your greatness.